Hey, what is up, my fellow golf ball addicts? Welcome back. We are in our continuation of ranking the 100 golf balls I've tested on the channel, and we are now in the top 50. We have made it now. We are halfway done, and we are doing 49 through 40. As always, if you haven't seen the introductory video where I talk about the rankings and how I'm actually coming to the conclusion of ranking these golf balls, please check that out in the description below. It only take a couple minutes, just so that way you know how I came to these conclusions and what basis I'm ranking these on. So without further ado, let's get right in and let's see number 49. Number 49, the Max Fly Soft. I like the Max Fly Soft a lot. I like the straight fly as well. The problem with the soft fly is that it's really intended for a lot slower swingers. So I got amazing numbers with the short irons, decent number with the mid irons, and then once you get into the hybrid and the driver, I was really over compressing it. So unfortunately at that point that kind of hurt the score a little bit, but the Max Fly Soft comes at an amazing value. You can get 2 dozen of them for around like $35 or something like that. That's an insane value. I love what they do there. They have a really cool design. They have an alignment tool to help golfers, learn how to line up putts, or even if you're in a season one, line up your putts. I like it a lot. It's just a good golf ball all around, but it's a golf ball that wasn't intended for my swing speed, and it made it in the top 50, so that's super impressive. Number 48, the Titleist True Soft. Another golf ball that, again, not really intended for my swing speed, meant for slower swingers, but I like a lot. This is actually one of my favorite Titleist golf balls. It's not too bad at $22 a dozen for value-wise. It might be the only Titleist golf ball that kind of has a halfway decent value, which is probably the best value they offer, which is kind of crazy. But I like what they do a lot here. They have a cool design. Their alignment tool I'm not a big fan of, but it still has a great design overall, and it doesn't look cheap. Even though it's a two-piece golf ball, it doesn't look cheap. It still looks more premium than a lot of the two-piece golf balls I've seen. It has a real squishy type of feel. It still has that Titleist dead feel, which I'm not a big fan of, but again, it's still better than a lot of them I've seen out there, and overall the numbers weren't bad. It actually was pretty mediocre once you get to the driver and the heavier clubs, just because I'm over compressing it, but those early clubs, just like the Max Fly Soft, did really well also. So not bad Titleist. I enjoyed. If you're a slow swinger, it's a ball I will recommend. Number 47, Strixon Soft Feel. Here we are again. Boy, we have a pattern going here. We're on a train. So Strixon Soft Feel, love the golf ball a lot. But again, just a case of once you get to the 9-iron testing, it's awesome. Once you get to the 7-iron testing, it's awesome. And then you start to kind of over compress it a little bit and those numbers go down. I do like soft. I think out of those 3 that I've had though, I do like having the Strixon Soft Feel at the top of those 3 we just did, because I do like the Strixon Soft Feel a lot. I think a lot of people really like it. There's a lot of loyal people to it. You showed me that when I did the review and I saw the comments. So I like it a lot. It's just not meant for me, but being in the top 50, I think that's to say something. Value-wise, boy, if it had been a little bit better value-wise, like the Max Fly Soft in there, it would have been phenomenal. Although, I wonder if it's included in the Strixon buy 2 get 1 free, because if it is, then my goodness, that could be the value. That could be the time to stock up. Number 46, the Wilson Model R. I do like Wilson golf balls. I've always kind of had a soft spot for them. I do like their design, their classic, their tradition. I like how they feel. I think they make one of the best feeling, firmer, traditional golf balls on the market. This one, though, did feel kind of gimmicky. The whole idea behind this one is that it wasn't painted. So it's like it's the paintless golf ball, so you don't have the paint to weigh down the golf ball. Whether or not that's true, I don't know. I don't swing well enough. I'm an average golfer, so I have no idea if that actually affects anything or not. But what I do know is the golf ball still performed pretty decently despite not being for my swing speed. I really did enjoy the design of it, and although value-wise it wasn't great, you can a couple times a year get these buy 2 get 1 free, and that did help it just a little. It probably helped sneak it into the top 50, but hey, I'll take that victory overall. It's okay, but just get the regular Wilson staff model. I don't think the paintless does anything for you. Number 45, the Wilson Duo Optics. Boy, another golf ball that I really love a lot. They come in a variety of colors, all these, really bright neon colors, matte design. A lot of people really are liking that. They come in at a decent value, kind of average, good, not great. But again, phenomenal with the 9-iron. Got some really good numbers, gained some massive distance with the short irons, gained some massive distance with the mid-irons. But unfortunately, when I got to the hybrid, those numbers became mid. And then once I got to the driver, I started to lose quite a bit of distance. So it was disappointing there because I was over compressing it. But Wilson does make some of the softest compression golf balls in the world, especially for those slow swingers. So again, if you're a slow swinger, if you're swinging 85 to 90 mile an hour or less than that, give these a shot. You might like them quite a bit. I liked them, and they're not even for me. Number 44, the Cut Blue DC. I'm beginning to think that I should just call this 10 that we're doing here in the middle this golf ball's not meant for me, because that's what all these have pretty much been so far. But here we are again with the Cut DC. I like the Cut DC a lot. $29.99 for a 4-piece urethane golf ball. It does feel pretty springy. It does come off the club really well, but the numbers weren't that great because, again, it's designed for really fast swing speeds. It has an over 100 compression, but one thing I really did like about it was the fact that I was actually getting a lot of spin with it. I mean, actually a little too much spin. I was actually getting so much spin that, you know, I'd hit a ball and it would have a little draw on it. It'd hit the green and be right near the pin, and it would shoot so far left from the side spin that I'd end up like 10, 15 feet away from the cup, and I'd be like, well, maybe that's a little too much spin. I don't need that much. So again, for a really advanced player, you can't beat $29.99. It's definitely a golf ball to try. If you're someone who swings really fast and you can control the golf ball pretty well, but you just are tired of spending all that money, give the Cut DC a shot. You might be pretty impressed with it. Number 43, the TaylorMade Distance Golf Ball. So this is an interesting one here. So the TaylorMade Distance does some things really well. Like, for example, design, value. I think it's 2 dozen for $35. Incredible. I like that they actually have their alignment tool with both the facing of the putter as well as the alignment tool. That's awesome for beginners. All of that stuff they do really, really well. Durability was really good too. What they don't do well is just the actual performance numbers. Like, they're all just okay. I mean, they're not mediocre by any means, but I mean, they're just really either average or just slightly below average. Which means, again, you know, there's a lot of golf balls. There's a lot of competition in this, you know, $20 a dozen, $17 a dozen, 2-piece range. There's tons of competition here. You've seen it throughout, and you're going to see it even more in the future. So it makes it hard to recommend it with that. And it's not a golf ball I recommend a lot. But because it does a few things so well, but it does nothing terrible, it just ends up in the 40s. So you know what? It doesn't matter how you get there. Remember, there's no pictures on the scorecard. So as long as you get there, that's all that matters. Number 42, Top Flight XL Distance. You know, yeah. What are you going to do? I wasn't exactly planning to put a Top Flight ball in the top close to 40, but here's the reality. The Top Flight XL Distance performed really, really well. I got phenomenal numbers with the 7-iron. I got really phenomenal numbers with the 3 hybrid at the time is what I was testing. It's changed since then. But what's even crazier is, I'm going to say a stat, and you probably won't believe me if you're new to the channel, but it is. This golf ball holds the record for longest drive on my channel, the longest average distance with my driver. It ended up at 258 for the average. That's by far the longest I've had on my channel. So it is, I mean, it gets a perfect driver score. It's a 10 out of 10. I probably don't recommend this golf ball to anybody. I think I've recommended it maybe once or twice in the last 4 years. But here's the reality. When I went back and looked at these numbers, it performs really, really well. They don't feel like rocks anymore. They've softened them up ever since Dick's Sporting Goods bought them. Really, the only thing that hurts this golf ball and really hurts it is its durability. What also really helps it is the fact that they are dirt freaking cheap. I mean, I'm talking like you can get the X-Out models for like $8 a dozen or something. I mean, it's just insane. The value is nuts. These golf balls are a really good value if you're someone who's really learning to pick up the game and you want some great distance without having a lot of side spin. This is a real player in the game. It really is. If it wasn't for the fact that the durability was so poor, you're looking at this golf ball being in possibly the 20s. You know, possibly the 20s based on its performance. Number 41, the Encore Vero X1. I like Encore's lineup a lot. The Vero X1 is a golf ball I've actually tested twice on the channel. When I tested the newer model just not that long ago, maybe a few months ago, it wasn't bad. I mean, it had a decent feel to it. The numbers off the club were just okay. Really what hurt it was the driver numbers. I actually lost a little bit of distance because it just wanted to launch a little too high with that driver. Everything else it does pretty well. It has pretty good durability. The numbers across the board are either average or slightly above average, which is good. Value-wise, it takes a hit. So really, that's kind of why it falls here in the 40s. Good numbers. I'll just say good numbers across the board, but value, design, things like that really just kind of push it and keep it in that middle ground. It just doesn't do anything exceptionally well to propel it and get it higher than where it is. Number 40. the Titleist Velocity. Probably, honestly, my favorite Titleist ball, to be completely honest with you. You know, at $29.99, it's not a fantastic value. It's not a urethane golf ball, so it still is pretty pricey, and that actually hurts it quite a bit. But everything else about it, you know, it comes in a lot of matte designs that are really bright and colorful. You can get it in a variety of options. I've seen people actually do the custom options with these. It has a decent design to it. I mean, it doesn't look and feel cheap, just like the True Soft doesn't. There's a lot of things really good about this ball, especially once you get into those performance numbers. It has so much spring to it. It's fun to hit. You hit it and you just feel it come off the face really fast, and like there's fire on your club. It's really cool. And those numbers reflect that. Really great numbers with the 9-iron, 7-iron, just all phenomenal. Once you get to the driver, the numbers do take a dip though, because this golf ball actually does have a problem, really two areas. One, it's really low spin, which you might say, well, Nick, that's not a problem. Some people need low spin. Fair enough. It wants to launch really, really low. Most golfers who are going to look for this type of golf ball, I don't think are launching it too high and having too much spin. I don't think they want low spin and low. I really wish it hadn't launched so low with the driver, because if it hadn't, boy, we're talking about this golf ball being in the top 20. So, I mean, really close there. And oh my goodness, if the value was a little better, we might even be talking top 15. Guys, I appreciate it. As always, keep watching and keep saving and keep learning. We are getting even closer. We are now going to be in the top 40 the next time. Stick around.